Hello, and welcome to the show. I'm Andy Knode, and if you saw yesterday, you know that we're about to take a look at all of the episodes of Batman the Animated Series, which today marks the 25th anniversary of the premiere of this show. Now, the premiere episode was The Cat and the Claw, Part 1. Which seems like an odd choice to start with one half of a two-parter, poo-parter? Two to start with this one. Although it features Catwoman, which actually was the reason why. I guess reading about it now is that the idea from Warner Brothers capitalizing on the success of Batman Returns that had just come out just a few months ago. And so they wanted an episode to feature Catwoman. And this was probably the only episode that they had in the can, as it were, with Catwoman. So it seems like an odd choice, but and honestly, as I was just watched it back through, I was kind of on the fence. There's elements of the show that I really enjoyed, that I thought was a great choice to kind of kick the show off, and then there was other parts that I thought was just odd.
You can't deny there's something between us.
You're right, and I'm afraid it's the law. I'm sorry.
Never trifle with the affections of a woman. Until next time.
So, the 30-second recap of the episode is we meet Catwoman, the new burglar. Batman meets Catwoman, the new cat burglar. Bruce Wayne meets Selina Kyle, the new environmentalist that wants to save the mountain lions. Bruce Wayne goes on a date with Selina Kyle. Selina is losing a deal to preserve the mountain lion sanctuary to this corporation Multigon, which is actually working with the terrorist organization Red Claw to house a chemical to be able to hold Gotham City for ransom, that they'll unleash that without $10 billion. Was it $10 billion? I think it was $10 billion in gold bullion. Batman and Catwoman are working together, sort of, and Batman and Bruce Wayne and Selina Kyle are also trying to figure this out at the same time. Is that 30 seconds? So the first episode starts off with a new cat burglar in town, and they show Catwoman scaling the building and cutting open the glass, and her cat Isis. Great trivia question. What is the name of Catwoman's cat? It's Isis. It goes through the window, and I still that sound of her cutting the glass is a very distinctive sound in my memory. And that opening sequence with kind of the cat and the mouse game that's played by Catwoman and Batman is really entertaining, and I thought that part was a great introduction to the show. One, it jumps right into the action. We don't waste time with the origin story. We all know where Batman came from at this time. But that whole sequence, jumping across the rooftops and swinging around, is a great introduction to Batman, in my opinion. And this has one of the coolest moments, and this was, it was in this scene that this really sets the tone of what was so cool about this show, is that timeless aspect. This office of this CEO of Multigon was very Art Deco-ish, and yet the device of playing the certain melody on the piano, which brought up the map out of the floor, was so kind of sci-fi, which is what I loved about this show, was that it made this timeless approach to the 1940s and had, you know, that style clothing and decor and cars, and yet they had these unique aspects of technology.
They'll be looking at you and your project so closely, you'll feel like a bug in a bell jar.
Have a nice day.
The part that was weird about this, the first episode as being the premiere for Batman, is Catwoman is very much the focus of the episode, and actually both episodes, in that she's really driving the story. It's really her versus Red Claw. So in that, it was a little weird because it felt very much like a Catwoman episode and Batman as a supporting character, and he really wasn't driving the story. There is a great moment in the second episode which illustrates just how great Kevin Conroy as Batman is, and it was his decision to make two distinctive voices for Batman and Bruce Wayne, and that's established right away in the second episode. There's a bug flying around the lens. We see Commissioner Gordon get a phone call from Batman, and then it cuts to Bruce Wayne sitting in a car using his Batman voice.
Listen, General, I'll call you back. Gordon here. Batman. Thank goodness.
Have you heard from Red Claw?
Loud and clear. We've got 24 hours to come up with $1 billion in gold bullion, or she'll release the plague on Gotham.
I think it was $10 billion in gold bullion. During that final explosion, I guess Bruce Timm was not happy with the way that explosion at the end of the second episode looked. And so they redid it like 2 or 3 times, and he still wasn't happy with the final product, but they started to run out of time, so they had to just put it out there. And when I watch it back, I see what he means. It is very flamey and smoky and not a lot of explosion-y. I'm sure that's how he articulated it in the art direction meetings. Some of my favorite parts about these 2 episodes was we got to see the Bat Glider. Excellent use of the Venetian blinds in Commissioner Gordon's office. The rocket-powered track car that they were in to capture the train. I don't know why it was rocket powered, but that was an excellent choice. Honestly, my biggest complaint is I don't know if it needed to be a 2-parter. When I was a kid, I don't think I totally grasped the whole story of that or really tried. I mean, I got enough of it to know Red Claw was bad, Batman's good, Catwoman's kind of in the middle, and they're all trying to make this win. But I don't think I got the whole terrorism and holding Gotham City for ransom and all those kind of intricate elements. And I think that they could have told the whole story in 1 episode, especially because Red Claw is not a well-known villain, and I'm not even sure if it's a real villain. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we'll find out here soon, Red Claw does come back in another episode, but I don't know if Red Claw was ever in the comics. If you know the answer to that, let me know, but I don't think so. I should know that. But that's really about it. It's a really, like I said, it starts off really well. The first episode is a great introduction to the series, which I was happy about. So to rank the episode, being our first episode and the first one on the list, The Cat and the Claw, Part 1 and 2, fall at number 1 on my favorite episodes of the Batman the Animated Series so far. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Join me tomorrow when we talk about the first episode that was produced for the animated series, but the second one to air, On Leather Wings. If you enjoyed this episode, please give me a like. And if you want to, looking forward to seeing more of these episodes, just hit the subscribe button and the little bell to be notified when new ones come out. Also, leave me any comments on what you thought of the episode, The Red Claw, Part 1 and 2. And let's continue the discussion below. Thanks for watching. I'm Andy Knode, and I'll see you tomorrow.